Still in Chapter 2, another key word to talk about is organizational structures. There are three types of structures. Now, if you look at the video on DVD, that company is more projectized. The project manager, Mary, seems to have a high level of control over the project. And that organization, by saying that organization is projectized, it means the project manager has high to almost total authority in those projects. So when you hear the word matrix, functional, projectized, it refers to organization type. So let me go through some of these in more detail. Functional organization. A functional organization is one in which team members report to one supervisor and are grouped by function, for example, engineering, marketing, and accounting. Authority and control of the project budget is held by the functional manager. We call that a functional organization. When project management is practiced in such organizations, there typically is a lower level of authority conferred on the person who is assisting the functional manager. That person could be called a project coordinator or a project expediter. A matrix organization is an organization type in which the balance of power and authority lies between the project manager and the functional manager, and it may not be an equal balance of power. It might be more to the functional manager side. In that case, we refer to that as a weak matrix. And if the balance of power lies more to the project manager's side, we refer to that as a strong matrix. And if the balance of power lies somewhere around the middle, we call that a balanced matrix. So we've got a weak matrix, a strong matrix, and a balanced matrix, used to refer to who has the upper hand of authority on the project in an organization. Lastly, let's talk about the projectized organization. A projectized organization is one in which a majority of resources involved in project work and staff members report to the project manager. Authority and control of the project budget is held by the project manager. And that pretty much is our organization types. We also have one more organization type called composite organization. Now, your organization might be a composite organization, which means at different levels and different locations in the organization, you can identify a matrix type organization. In a different location or different level in the organization, you may see more of a balanced type approach, or a strong matrix type approach, or a weak matrix. And then you look around and you see also in the same organization a projectized approach for managing projects. So when you think about a composite organization, it's a mix of all of these three main categories, as well as the subcategories of the matrix type at different levels, at different times, in different locations.
Now we're going to talk about the organization types in project management. You have three types of organizations, basically, in the PMBOK guide. You can break them down into these three buckets. You could have a functional organization, a matrix organization, or a projectized organization. So let's look here. You can see that in the functional organization, you can see the project manager's authority is little or none. We can see that in the matrix organization, we can further break that down into three: weak, balanced, and strong. In the weak, the project manager's authority is kind of better than the functional, but it's still limited. In the balanced matrix, it becomes low to moderate. It gets a little bit better. And then we've got the strong matrix. In the strong matrix, project manager's authority is moderate to high. And then we've got the projectized organization, where he's got high to almost total authority. Looking at resource availability, we can see that in the functional organization, hardly any resources as far as the project manager controlling resources, but all the way at the end of the spectrum, high to almost total control of resources or resource availability for the project manager. We can see that in the projectized organization. So let's skip a few slides, go straight into talking about the first organization type, functional organization. We can see that in this organization type, looking at the slide here, staff members report to one supervisor. Staff members are grouped by function, for example, engineering, marketing, and accounting. The authority of the project budget is held by the functional manager, and we can see that here. The key thing to understand is that the project manager's role is known as project coordinator or project expediter in that type of organization. The project manager has very little authority here, and he's looked at really as someone who just coordinates the project around these people. Ultimately, the real power lies with the functional manager. Moving on to the next type, matrix organization. In the matrix organization, this is a blend of functional and projectized. You can see that over here we've got the weak matrix. Still, the project manager's role is one of a project coordinator. Very weak authority. Functional manager has moderate to high authority. The functional manager controls the project budget. So there might be project management, but it's still very weak. Balanced matrix, we can see that, the project manager is on the radar now. Project manager begins to manage, and in this form of organization, the project manager's authority is kind of shared with the functional manager. That's why we call it balanced. So it's better than the functional and the weak matrix. Moving on, we can see the strong matrix. It gets even better for the project manager because we've got a manager of project managers. Project manager have more authority, moderate to high. Project manager controls the project budget. So it gets even better for the project manager. And then we've got the projectized organization, which is project manager heaven, where a project manager has almost total authority over every resource that he needs. A project in a projectized organization will be run to the highest degree of project management if the project manager knows what he's doing. So this is an organizational structure in which a majority of resources are involved in project work. Staff members report to a project manager, as you can see. That's really paradise for the project manager, isn't it? And then authority and control of project budget is held by the project manager. It's a really, really nice organization for project managers to work. Now we've got another type, which is a blend of everything, composite organization. Now you can see different levels of projectized, project management, weak matrix, strong matrix, balanced, and so on, all at play in this figure. You can see project coordination in a weak fashion, and then you can see over here the project manager is serving more in a projectized role. There's lots of things happening in this composite organization. So let me ask you, what type of organization do you work for? Is it projectized? Is it functional? Is it siloed like the functional? Or do you have the project manager managing projects? Good question to ask yourself.